Hello HCA community. Here we are in week 4 of lockdown, but I hope you've managed to have as good an Easter weekend as possible. My daughter's favourite joke over the weekend was that to follow a balanced diet you needed chocolate in both hands, and I've certainly had my fair share. There's been some very powerful reporting over the last few days about how the pandemic is highlighting social inequalities, whether that's between people experiencing lockdown in a house with a garden and those in tower blocks, or between frontline staff, many of them lower paid, and those professionals able to work from home more easily. But however starkly the pandemic is drawing those fault lines, it's also highlighting generosity, new collaborations, and opportunities for real long-term change. And it was thinking about change and the role of creative education that led me to look again at a book by one of the college's honorary fellows, Sir Christopher Frayling. And in On Craftsmanship, Sir Christopher, he tells a story about William Morris, one of the founders of the arts and crafts movement, and how when Morris was challenged on the point of the arts, he replied, "The point of the arts is to give us hope." And Sir Christopher is writing about how art and design students are particularly good at constructing worlds around themselves in very entrepreneurial and improvisatory ways. And I'd say that's true of all creative arts students, and I see that again and again in HCA students and alumni. And Christopher writes of a vision for creative education that brings together the head, the heart and the hand to meet the needs of modern society, create the knowledge that modern society needs and the modern economy. And I believe bringing together the head, the heart and the hands is what HCA can do, and that your creative education is going to be more important than ever as society comes through this pandemic. I was very pleased this week that following a call out for help, we were able to pull together more than 40 pairs of protective eye goggles from the college workshops, and we've given them to the hospital in Hereford. And I'm talking to staff and students about what else we might be able to do, both practically and creatively, for our wider community at this time. I wanted to thank all the contributors to the first HCA Makers challenge. I hadn't seen all the entries when I made the film last week, so I hadn't appreciated quite how inventive and varied they were, from ceramics to photography, from animation to poetry, and even a rather smart man's waistcoat. So well done to Will Pettit for winning the first prize, but well done everyone. And there's still time to take part in the second Makers Challenge. You've got till Friday to submit work on the theme of rebirth. There'll be dedicated prizes for students again, but we've also opened the competition up more widely. And we're going to try and showcase as many entries as possible online to celebrate your creativity. As for me this week, I'm writing some papers for an upcoming meeting of the college board. I'm not going to be doing the Makers Challenge, but it might be time for the home haircut challenge. And if I make this film with a beanie on next week, you'll know how that went. Meanwhile, if you need some help with your well-being, and any of us could at this time, don't forget you can use the Wellbeing Self-Referral button on StudentNet. And do all of you please stay in touch, stay safe and keep creating.